Blog Talk Radio.
Yeah, what's going on? It's been a couple of weeks. A Sport of Law, we back. Wednesday night battle rap edition. Tonight, we're going to discuss the Charlie Clips versus the Hollow the Don battle that URL just dropped today. They officially dropped. I know the bootleg's been out since the pay-per-view. Everybody been throwing bootlegs, but they threw the official, edited by Twiz, HD, final draft, and it was good. I watched it again. I wanted to see what the final product was going to look like. And, you know, Twiz didn't disappoint. Shout out to Twiz. But I also wanted to see if my opinion on who I gave the battle to would change. If you heard my whole Known 5 recap show, you heard me say that I gave the battle to Hollow the Don. I can't really do a bar-by-bar breakdown how I wanted to because, you know, they were still trying to sell a pay-per-view. I didn't want to give away too much. But to really do like a bar-by-bar breakdown, and after watching it again on YouTube from URL, I'm sticking to my guns, and I'm sticking with Hollow. I'm sticking with Hollow the Don 2-1 over Clips. But, however, I will say this. If anybody wants to give the first round to Charlie Clips, I wouldn't be mad. It wasn't like a landslide round for Hollow. I gave it to Hollow. Clips came with it, but Hollow's round I think was more clever. You know, it was better put together. It's like he just, you know, it was more thought put into it. And I actually think Clips had the longer round, if I'm not mistaken. But I just think I like Hollow's first writer. He first better. And by the way, if y'all want to call in 347-850-8507 to the Sport of Law and get your input on this. But yeah, Hollow went first. He went first. And he the first thing he did, I think, is he mocked Charlie Clips' excuses for, you know, Clips a couple of times. He might start off a battle saying, you know, he's having family issues and, you know, he wasn't going to show up. And it wasn't just Clips, because, you know, other battlers do it too. But he was pretty much mocking that whole idea of, you know, I got other stuff going on. So, you know, I'm going to give you a half-ass battle, pretty much. But he was pretty much mocking the idea. He said his grandmother got bit by a bee or whatever. That was funny. That was pretty funny. But he started off coming at how, you know, Clips likes to talk through his opponent rounds and being friendly. He nipped all that in the bud with his first couple of bars, saying, you know, he's not here for that. That was dope. He had this line about Oklahoma and Nevada. He said your initial state was to envy. Okay. Saying how, you know, those two states, the initials is envy and okay. I forgot the setup. He was mentioning something about Clips hating on him or something like that. That's where that bar came from. But it was dope. He had this line. It was a gum reference. He was like, the first two was hot. The third got stuck like the old Clips. Saying how, you know, Clips used to come with 2 rounds and then, you know, get all stuck and choked up in his third. He was saying how the fans gassed him his fans are always gassing him, and he threw an X Factor. He said he's like X Factor. Not because priorities, because every chance the fans get, they make your head bigger. Pretty much saying how fans are always taking that picture of X Factor. I don't know if y'all familiar with that picture of X Factor, and they're always like stretching his head, pause to, make it look bigger than what it really is. But that was dope. That was dope. He had a Sonic the Hedgehog line that, it sounded similar to something we heard before. He was saying how he don't get choked up like Clips do. He don't forget his raps, and he said something like, I'm like Sonic, if I get hit on stage, rounds keep coming out. I think Daylight had a similar bar. It was alright though. Then he went into how Charlie Clips is predictable, and then he did this. He mocked him with a San Antonio Spurs scheme, and he did the scheme, and then he rhymed what he was saying rhymed with Tony Parker, whereas though you knew Tony Parker was coming with the fourth bar at the end of the fourth bar, and by the he asked the crowd, like, what do y'all hear coming? And they said Tony Parker, and that was like, he was just saying how that's Clips. That's pretty much, they know what word Clips is going to say at the end of the fourth bar. And he said something like he's like a highway. His bar is like a highway exit. He tell him it's coming from a mile away, something like that. Then he just said the other thing, and he was like, you're a candy rapper with 4 bars like it. And then the crowd went Kit Kat, and he was like, see how easy it is to predict that. It was dope, man. He pretty much broke Clip's whole style down. He pretty much said, like, Clips doesn't do anything special. He doesn't do anything out of the ordinary, and pretty much all his stuff is predictable. I wouldn't say that. I'm a Clips fan. I think Clips got some dope stuff with him, but at times, it's some truth to what Hollow said a lot of times. Then he went in, coming at Couture, battle rapper Couture, that's Charlie Clips is involved with, saying how, you can't mix business with pleasure and can't be messing with chicks that bad or whatever. But the funny part about this, he started calling her ugly, and then he went into this thing about how when they get into it in the house, instead of arguing, they start battling. And what he said, he said something. Shut up, you losing it. He said Couture go in the kitchen, said Clips, you ate my food again. Charlie. He said Charlie in the back, like, guess what room I'm in. It was funny. Man. That was funny as hell. I'm sorry. And I think with him breaking Clips' style down, and plus that, I think that took the round for him. Clips started off his first with this rebuttal about, Hollow said something about Clips' mom, because Clips was, bigging up his mom in the Rex battle, and Hollow had said something about his mom. Hollow was saying that his mom could beat Clips' mom up. And Clips pretty much rebutted that, saying they'll jump Hollow's mom. It was an alright rebuttal. It wasn't that crazy. He had this line that said something like, your voice hoarse, you leave niggas sleepy Hollow. That's why you're not ahead of me, or ahead to me, something like that. That was crazy. He had this line, something like, I ain't seen my father in 20 years, but I still know how my pops look. That was dope. What else did Clips have in his first? He had this line that said something, they ain't feel wheezy this much since the Carter 4. That was alright. He had this line about the Gasol brothers, Powell, Mark Gasol. He was saying Powell brother fucking around and Mark Gasol. I think Daylight. That's another one that Daylight had a couple stolen bars or flip, bitten, borrow, whatever you want to call them, bars in his battle. Daylight said that if you try to mark Gasol, you get hit with the Powell brother. It's pretty much the same. Clips had this other line in his first about. He was talking about the Joe Buttons battle, the Hollow versus Joe Buttons battle, saying how during the battle Hollow got drier and drier. He was saying how is it that you can clean Big T but couldn't wash Button up? That was crazy. Saying like how did you destroy Big T, who's a battle rapper, and couldn't beat Joe Buttons, who's not a battle rapper, or couldn't beat Joe Buttons convincingly. That was dope. And that was all the offenses from Clips' first round to me. Like Clips had a good first round. It just wasn't crazy. I just think the approach Hollow took in the first took the round for him. In the second, with the Hollow started second off with a couple more lines about Couture. Then he had this line saying about Loaded Lux, T-Rex, Head Ice, and Charlie Clips. I don't know if it was like a Harlem rapper scheme or whatever, but then he flipped it, saying I get something about Lux Loaded, Rex T, something. He said it. He said their names, and then he like flipped it and ended up saying all their names backwards. He had this little Belly scheme in there, something about the movie Belly. Then he had he went out to a couple of fat jokes. He had a few fat jokes in his second. So he had this line saying you left Fruity Tuesdays to go to Fridays to get a Sunday. You just ate half of the week. That was funny. Then he went on to this thing about how he's a Harlem dude with no bread. That just doesn't sound right. Harlem dudes are known for having money. How you a Harlem dude with no money? You don't own anything. You don't have like no businesses, like nothing. It's pretty much just battle rap with him. Then he went on to reveal that the Psych I Lied Clips t-shirts that fans was buying out front was actually LOM t-shirts that he made or he got made. So he pretty much said he owned Psych I Lied now, so Clips couldn't use it. He had his slogan copywritten. He pretty much I think he killed him with that. It didn't like hit crazy. That was just so clever. It was like, I mean, like how do you rebuttal that? Like, and Clips, like once I get the Clips right, I'll show you. Like I think Clips, there was no way to flip that. Then he had this other line about something like I'll give you the business and watch them start losing interest, talking about the fans. It was like a scheme, and what was a scheme that had to do with like business and like it was a business scheme pretty much. So and then that was pretty much it. Then he had a couple more fat jokes towards the end, and he kind of like stumbled. I ain't gonna say he stumbled like he messed up on his raps, but he didn't float out of the round. Like he pretty much like drug out of the round and got kind of dry towards the end of his second. But Clips came on. He had this rebuttal where it was like he was stumbling, or was he act like he was stumbling? He really did, and he was about to say Psych Out Loud, but he was like, damn, I don't own it no more. That was pretty much his rebuttal to that. So that pretty much said it like, damn, like what can I say to that? I don't have nothing to say to that. Then he went on to diss Cortez for taking sides with Hollow. I guess in his whole ordeal, exposing how, pretty much exposing how Cortez is riding with Hollow, and Cortez lived with Clips. Clips was saying how he he let Cortez live with him, and I don't know. I guess he was pretty much saying Cortez wasn't loyal, and he don't even know where Hollow live at. Blase blah. Then he went on to diss D Chambers, I guess, for taking sides. Also, he pretty much lost the crowd a little bit because he spent the majority of the round coming at Cortez and D Chambers. Like that was pretty much his round. Then he got back to Hollow with the end of his round, mentioning the fight with John and Don. He mentioned it was like 8 bars pretty much. He spit about 8 bars, and then he mentioned I guess John dropping him, and he said we're gonna do a multiple choice on how you got on the floor. Then he went to the A, the B, the C. And then he said John, which wasn't. John came out with his G, all of the above. That was dope. But then he just like ended the round right there, and you hear him. I'm not sure if they did it on the final edited version that the URL dropped, but like watching the pay-per-view, you like after John do that, the crowd go a little crazy. So smack you like you're done, and you hear clips like, yeah, I'm done. They went crazy for that. I mean, I don't know if that was caused like in your round because they had a good reaction, but I don't know. His second was kind of short. I just think he gave away the second. Norbs even said that. Like they showed the interview with Norbs on the final edited version that they dropped. That the interview that Norbs gave right after the battle, where he was like. Clips kind of gave that round away. His Hollow second wasn't like spectacular. He had the angle about Clips being broke, but I don't know. I think if Clips would have just came at Hollow, he could have took that round. So I gave Hollow the second too. Which the third is unnecessary to talk about at this point, but for the sake of things, and the credit Charlie Clips. Because I do believe he won the third round. We can talk about the third. Hollow, he mentioned the Math and Diz fight. Then he went back to talk about Clips' excuses for choking all the time and not being prepared. What else was it? He mentioned, how Clips goes into the psych I lied, nigga. And he was like, oh, I get it. Whenever I get into a bind, nigga, I could just say psych I lied, nigga, and rhyme, nigga, my nigga. It was kind of funny and clever at the same way. That was pretty much, going back to what he did in round one, like exposing his style. I think that he should have kept that part in round one, to be honest. But he had this line, something about along the lines of, you be dancing around questions, same thing that got your pop locked. Then he had this line about he compared Clips to Alpo, famous drug dealer from Harlem, Alpo, who did dealings with Rich Porter, and ended up killing Rich Porter while Rich Porter was mourning his little brother being kidnapped, trying to get his little brother back. And he said, but the line Hollow used was, he was making it a reference to Clips killing T-Rex while Rex's nephew, while he was mourning the loss of his nephew. Rich Porter was mourning his little brother, which I don't think at that point, when he got killed, I'm not even sure he knew his little brother was dead yet. Or he had an idea he was dead. But, whatever. But the line he said, the Clips is like Alpo, because y'all both killed somebody while they was mourning their nephew. In which the case of Rich Porter, it wasn't his nephew, it was his brother. But, so, kind of messed up there. Then he had this line about, I don't know, something about if he ever did any dirt with DNA, like sold drugs, and they got caught. He said he would point and say that's Eric Snow, in reference to the point guard Eric Snow they used to play. I don't know, he just he just kind of died down. He had like more fat jokes or something like that, and I don't know. He just it was kind of dry towards the end of his round. Clips came on in the third. He broke down the name Hollow, saying how you name Hollow when you've been full of shit your whole career. Saying that how a Hollow can't go nowhere unless the clip lets you, a hollow tip bullet. Then he had another bar about Cortez, saying how his real name is Ernie. Then he said something, Ernie, the one I should kill of Charles right next to the Smith. There was an NBA on TNT reference, the panel of, Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Charles Barkley, and Kenny Smith. Said Ernie, the one I should kill, Charles right next to the Smith. That was crazy. I threw my hat on that one. Well, yeah, the line, I ain't see a black face raising a cow like this is BMF in reference to Calico's dad. Blackface was with BMF. Then he started mocking a couple of his old opponents. He mocked. What did he mock? Verb, X Factor, Rex. I don't know. I think it was Verb, X Factor, and Rex. He mocked a couple of their slogans and catchphrases or whatever, and then he was like, I'm Shang Shung. I'm turning into all the niggas I already killed. That was fire. That was fire. The way he said it was fire. He mentioned Hollow losing to Arsenal and Surf. He mentioned Hollow losing to Arsenal and Surf. He was like, damn, when you go against Red Mans, what the fuck is your method? Meaning when you go against old Reds Mans, who Arsenal and Sue Surf are cool with old Red. When you go against old Red Mans, what the fuck is your method? It was a Method Man, Red Man, well, it was alright. Then he made the mentioning of LeBron James to Magic Johnson. He was like comparing them, but Clips was saying his own self was more like Magic. He was like, I'm more like Magic because I'm sick, and my son a faggot, pointing at Hollow, calling Hollow his son in reference to Magic Johnson, son being a homosexual, and it was something else he had in his third. I can't remember, but Clips had a very, very, very good third, especially compared to Hollow's, which was, I'm not gonna say it was trash. Like a lot of people call this third trash. I think around the time when this battle first happened, Hollow had some good, some good lines in his round. I don't know. He just lost the crowd. That didn't help, and I don't know. I don't know if he felt as though he had the battle already. He wasn't delivering the stuff he was saying right. And Clips took advantage of that round. So I give this battle to Hollow 2-1, but Clips has nothing to hang his head about because it's close. It's debatable. I'm actually not mad if anybody gave this battle to Charlie Clips. So shout out to URL for dropping that. Where does Clips go from here? That's the question. Now, Nunu asked the other day, Nunu Nels asked on Facebook, she wanted to know the fans' opinion, like, should Clips sit Summer Madness out? Because she mentioned he's going to take either Lux or Mook in the fall or towards the end of the year. So I guess that means that's out of the question for Summer Madness. So should Clips battle on Summer Madness? And that's actually a very good question because just listening to the fans, it's like Hollow turned all Clips fans against him. I hear a lot of Clips and see a lot of Clips hate that I didn't see before this battle. And it's like Hollow changed everybody's perception of Clips that you hear this. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I've heard he's predictable stuff before. I've heard it from a lot of people. I just hear from a lot more now since the battle. And it's like the perception of the fans are tired of him. I for one, am not tired of him. I'm a Clips fan. I want to see him on Summer Madness. Why not? He's one of the the biggest names in the sport. Against who? That's a good question, because if he's taking Lux or Mook in the fall, and there's only really a couple of battles for him left that's necessary, that needed to happen. Now, for Summer Madness, I would like to see him take Pat Stay instead of DNA for Pat Stay's first URL battle. I think that would make more sense to me if you got the top guy over at KOTD to face the top active guy at URL. And I say top active because, Hollow, Lux, Mook, them guys aren't active like Clips is. So I think Pat Stay versus Clips would be an ideal battle for Summer Madness. And that's really it. I only really want to see him battle Lux and Mook. Like, that's it. If he wants to take an industry person, I don't know. If he wants to take King Los, King Los versus Clips might be an idea to think about. I actually would like to see King Los versus Charlie Clips. Yeah, so that's my hope for Summer Madness if Lux or Mook isn't happening. Clips versus Pat Stay. I don't know what the DNA versus Pat Stay is. I don't want to see that. Clips versus Pat Stay, Summer Madness 5. Smack, Beasley, Norbs, anybody be listening, make it happen. That's what makes sense. Getting ready to wrap this up. Thanks for listening, those that were listening. Come catch me Saturday morning for my sport edition. Coming back for the sport edition, I'm going to talk NBA Finals. There's only going to be one game in. So, we're talking about what I've seen in Game 1 and what I predict going forth. As of right now, my prediction for that is Warriors in 7. But we'll see. Next week, Battle Rap Edition. I don't know, man. I'm going to have to watch a couple of battles, and we're going to review. And then maybe I'll talk more about my Summer Madness wish list. If anybody want to call up and give their Summer Madness wish list, you can call up. This is The Sport of Law. I am T.D. Berry. This show has been brought to you by YDLS Clothing. Young, determined lifestyle is not just a brand, it's a lifestyle. And until next time, y'all be cool. Y'all be cool.